Question I was going to ask is, the topic says, how do you train?
Are you gonna? Will you raise your kids
the same way you were raised?
Yeah.
The question is, how were you raised? That's the first question.
That's what I was.
Because
I was
for
raised.
everybody, the way that everybody's raised is different.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can only remember one time that I was disciplined by my dad,
Okay.
and it wasn't like he beat me or kind of situation. It's more like, oh, you're being like I was being like what's the word now? I was being a disturbance, kind of to say. And then it was more like, okay, more like a timeout situation. I was crying until I slept off. When I woke up, I came to eat. Right. So that was the only time I can remember ever being disciplined. But I turned out great anyways.
Okay.
So going to the question, would you raise your kids the same way you were raised? I will. I will do exactly the same thing. I can remember countless times I had discussions with my dad. He would sit me down, start telling me, this is life, this is not life, this is how you should be, this is not how you should be. You know, and till tomorrow, I mean, then it was like, oh man, this man talks a lot. This man is just like, yo, what did I do now? What's, you know, but now growing up, I'm like, yeah, I'll do the same thing, because all of those times, he wasn't punishing me. He was like guiding me on how to live and how to be a better man growing up.
Managing relationships with relatives back home and maintaining family bonds across distances.
Is everything.
Okay.
No matter where you are in the world, family is everything. You can't take that away. There are some people that they don't care, but for me, I think family is everywhere. That is everything, sorry. That's where phone comes in place. Like, you always call, WhatsApp, video call. Like, as they are small, you have to introduce them. Oh, these are your cousins. Once in a while, you guys make a video call and, talk to each other. Try to tell them this is your cousin once in a while. Always have that conversation. There was a time I was sick. My husband was sick. Like, it was like everybody in the house was sick. I cried. I was like, if this is Nigeria right now, my sisters will be here. I will have my family around. Like, I won't feel lonely. Because nobody to help around. Nobody to talk to. Nobody. This is people you grew up with. There's a kind of bond you have with them that no matter what, that cannot go away. No matter what, you still have to find a way to, bring them into your life.
Just use me and you, for example. Just you and I here. My brother, sister, they're not here. My cousins, my nephews, my nieces, they're not here. Right? How do I introduce or have my daughter know her families, stay in contact with them, knowing fully well that out of sight, out of mind, geographical location is over 5,000 miles away? How? For us, it's different. We all.
The only best way right now is communication. Frequent, constant communication. If you have
I had plenty of friends when I left Nigeria, but today we're not as close as we used to be, because we're not physically together to do the things that we used to do that made or keeps us friends, right?
How about family?
No, that's friends. Forget about friends.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not the same.
Only person I talk to as much as I used to talk is even my mom. I don't used to talk to her like I used to when I was at home. It's different. It cannot be the same. When I was at home, 11 p.m., my mom is calling me, where you at? Yo, just let me be, man. I'm outside. I'm coming. I'm coming. She'll be up until I come back. Once I come back, you see her coming from her own apartment, and then she's walking. And she's like, I just saw you driving now. It's late now. How can you come back by 1 a.m.? Like, yo, I'm okay. I'm fine.
Yeah, I understand that.
Relationship. And then she calls me, hey, I made some food for you. Do you want to come eat? I'm like, yo, I'm a grown ass man. I eat already. She's like, but I made food. You know what I mean? We have that relationship based on proximity. Right now, she cannot be exactly like that. She calls me now, hey, how you doing now?
Again, you're married. Your mom will not be calling you at an odd hour as a married man now.
No, you don't know what happened to me. That's why
I just give you an example. But even apart from odd hours, Even if I was in Nigeria now, or if this was Nigeria, for example, my mom was, let's say, 2 hours away. Boy, she's calling me to come for Christmas. This Easter now, I won't be here.
The relationship that you have with your family from back home will determine how much of exposure you want to give, or how much of access you want to give them to your kids. Because when you have a relationship that is very close and tight knit, sometimes you'll be like, yeah, they want to see you. Like his mom, for example, is the only grandparent that would call me and say, I want to see my granddaughter. She'll text me, she'll say, send me pictures of my granddaughter. She'll say, it's been a while. The last time she just sent me like 3 days ago. She's like, it's been a while since you sent me a video of my granddaughter. I've not been able to see any pictures of my granddaughter. So that closeness that they have, it's sort of easier for us to move on, to say, it's made me to say, you know what, yeah, get to know grandma. But when it comes to my parents, like the way I was raised is, it's kind of different. Everything you need to grow, they try to, they put you through the way that you should go. I wouldn't necessarily say, oh, I was raised in a not so great way. No, I don't have any trauma per se with the way I was raised. And the way I was raised is because I have, my mom always say, the way you're going, you look like you like nice things. And if I don't show you how to make money yourself, you end up doing something I would regret just to afford the nice things. So my mom was very strict in making sure that I could fend for myself. So she said, I know you're smart, but if you go to school, I still also need you to be not just book smart and stuff, but I also need you to be street smart. How do you maintain spiritual teachings in a secular society? How do you balance, how do you help kids navigate conflicting values?
There are stages to raising a kid. Mm-hmm. There's a stage where you have to pass down your own knowledge. If you go for yourself, for a 15-year-old kid, no, that's a no-no. When they grow up to 30, they can decide to know for themselves. They can read the Bible and have that personal relationship with God. If they have personal relationship with God earlier, fine. But as a parent, you have to hold their hands and say, hey, nothing just happened because for whatever reason. There's a sequence, there's a plan. There is a God out there that's guiding you, that's leading you in certain ways. You have to know that. That's why you wake up in the morning and pray, not for formalities, but to instill. Talking about this thing, I no get how if you go church. So I don't go church again. I have to go to church. Because that time, my parents don't take me to church. My father is not a pastor. My mother is not a deaconess. But when it comes to going to church,
it's a must.
You don't have option.
You don't have
even
option.
As an adult, even before when I was even I go home for holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
If I don't go to church, I will not hear what I do. You don't go to church. See your life.
Yeah,
you know what? May God help you. Help yourself. May God help you. So,
I said when I was in school, my mother would call me, tomorrow na Sunday, I hope say you did. What's wrong with this woman? I didn't even tell you guys what happened to me one time during our pre-degree. My mom flogged me. I was over 20 when I was doing that.
That's how they say it. Okra.
Do you even know what happened? I went to a party, birthday party. You know how football be now. We went for a birthday party and I was staying with my cousin. It was late. My cousin was calling. When you're in a birthday party, if your phone is ringing, you will not know because everywhere was kind of noisy. She called. And me, I didn't even tell her like this is where I'm going to or anything. Because she has called for long, I'm not taking the call. She herself, she was scared. She now started calling my people. Oh, she has not picked my call. It's past 1. She's not bad. Blah, 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 blah. So after the party, when I picked up my phone, so like plenty missed calls. And I called my mom. My mom was like, first thing in the morning, I want to see you at home. My father didn't even take it serious or yelled at me or anything. My father was cool, but my mom was over the roof. You know, I came back home. My mother, she was like, she had a cane. Where you go? I said, where are you? You want to carry belly? I was just like, I was just like looking at her like this.
Oh
I said, if I give you one hand, you go 4. Right? I don't even know what you're doing.
So the fear that our parents instilled in us will not even make us. And that's one thing, you know. But I don't know if it's fear or if it's out of respect that we don't raise our hands to our parents. I don't feel like
that is a cultural stuff. You can't even dare it.
I see Westerners like, you know, fighting with their parents, and I'm like, ha.
My hometown, if a child beat the mother, you know what's coming from him?
It get a lot of consequences.
It's not about the consequences. That's not about the consequences. The whole village. So let's say, for example, I beat my mother, my uncles from my mother's side, my grandfather from my father's, all the village, everybody from my mother's side, they will come to my father's house. They will carry me from there. They will beat me from there till they get to their own village. They will beat me there for days. They fit tie me under tree safe. Food, the way they will beat that person mercilessly. When the person come back, if the person tries it again, there's even worse coming for that person. You tell the carry the person for head, they put the person in the trunk of a car and drive the person there. The person will end up in the hospital after the drilling.
I just was trying to capture that, you know, almost concern, that sense of concern and sense of love and sense of sharing that almost everyone grows up with in Africa, that, you know, you're the firstborn or you're the one that's, you know, the most successful. It should be taking care of the ones that are less successful. It's some of that expectation, that's the right word. That expectation, that fulfilling that expectation of you should be doing this. She dates before she turns 18.
To be a police, monitoring everything, but at the same time you have to be involved, which is why, like Grace mentioned earlier, the role of a father or mother is important both ways.
Yeah.
You need to have that communications of actions have consequences, right? So if you indulge in certain activities, there might be certain consequences that might alter the course of your life. So it doesn't just have to do with dating. It also goes back to being the kind of friends you have, the kind of activities you have, right? You mentioned teenagers dating. It may not be a case of dating. It might be a case of friends. The kind of friends they keep, the kind of company they keep, the kind of things they do in their small circle. Those things can alter the life of these kids. But how do you tell them that this is not what you want to indulge yourself in at this age, at this time, until you are okay mentally and financially to deal with the consequences if you do get one of those consequences. So it's not like an age restriction as to, or you know, the child could be 20 and then it's doing super great and mentally stable, financially stable to handle if there's a consequence that comes out of dating.
So if your daughter at age 15 comes home and says,
not 15.
So that's what I'm trying to understand.
This is an African parent.
Job. Are they mentally stable to take care of their own?
No, like the other. Okay, I think we're being too serious about the word thing.
I have to be serious about it.
If Dara comes in and say, "Mom, this is my girlfriend."
25.
No, Mom. Oh yeah, go upstairs, please.
From age 20.
From age 20.
So at what age would you be okay if Adana comes in and say, "Mom, this is my boyfriend"?
25.
No. Yes, but I will still let them know the consequences involved. Are you ready for this?
Don't try that with me.
No, because if you don't have that conversation, they will do it at your back.
That's the thing.
They're going to do it behind you, and you wouldn't know.
It's okay to have, like I said before, you have those conversations. The actions has consequences, right? But you being aware of it and being okay with it, that's a different point, right? That's the question. Having the conversation is different, but at what point are you going to say, "Oh, I'm okay. My daughter has..."
From 18 years, I'm okay.
No. For me, it's when she's mentally, financially okay.
Do you know that?
He or she.
Do you know that these kids are smarter than our
Let me ask you a
our
question.
century,
Let me ask you
our
a question.
time.
Let me ask you a question, okay? You have an 18-year-old daughter. You let's say you have an 18-year-old daughter today.
Mm-hmm.
Comes up to you. I have a boyfriend. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You okay with that, right?
I'll be okay.
Okay.
I want to be involved. I want to know the boy.
One more question. Okay. You want to know the boy, that's fine. You know the boy. Okay, cool. And for some reason, 3 months, 5 months down the line, she comes back home. She tells you, Mom, I think I'm pregnant.
That's why I said I want to be involved.
I know, you be involved, I know, but you're involved now.
I have to,
You don't go on those dates with her, right?
No, what I'm saying is...
You don't have a tracker that sees where they're going to, where they're
you are the parent. You have a lot of roles to play in your kid's life.
Okay, we're watching a movie for...
You will only tell her how to protect herself.
Listen, we're watching a movie, right?
Yeah, we're watching a movie on Netflix.
The guy said, the mother said to the daughter, that's 14 years old, 15 years old, right? Mm-hmm. You can't be with a boy.
You can't be with a boy.
You cannot be with a boy. The dad says, it's okay, but your pants stays up.
Your pants stays on.
Your pants stays up.
So everything above the waist was okay, and then below the waist, not okay. So It's okay, you can have a boyfriend, but your pants stays on.
Yeah, he's involved. Isn't he involved? He's involved, right? The mom says, nope, not acceptable. She comes in home one day, sees her with a boy, kicks the boy out, down the road, she was involved in an accident. Somehow they found out that she was pregnant.
At 14.
The dad, he's involved. And now he's disappointed. And he's heartbroken because the 14-year-old daughter is now pregnant.
That's what I'm trying to...
So being involved, what I'm saying is being involved does not really... stop anything would happen.
No. Do you know what...
First things first, you have to rebuke it. In the case where that did not work, then you want to be involved.
My fear is my kids doing something behind me.
My back.
Don't be too afraid of that.
Didn't
you do something behind your mother's back? Didn't you do something behind your mother's back?
But it's better you are involved and lead.
No, listen. You don't want want to get... So, okay, listen to this now, okay? You did it behind your mother's back and your father's back. You both did it. You can't deny it. Well, okay, fine. But here's the thing now. Even while you were in that situation doing what your mother has rebuked you from doing, you were so scared. You were so cautious. Because you don't want your mother to, by any means, find out that you did something. You don't want to slip up. So your attention or your focus is more on, I don't want to get caught.
But is that safe though?
No, it's not.
It is. No, I'm not saying it's safe. I'm not saying it's safe. Regardless, you came out of that. We all came out of that situation. Right. But here's the thing though. If I say, it's okay. If my dad told me, it's okay. You got a girlfriend, or to package. Just make you know what I mean? One day, I go cross line. I'll come house, carry somebody come with big belly, say, don't carry belly. My expectation is that my father will understand. He gave me this much room. He can give me more room. He will forgive me.
He's not just...
But in some cases, you're so scared of the beating that you're going to receive that if they find out that you even kissed somebody.
You know that is...
Sometimes, one of my points is that sometimes you don't have to butter things too much. Sometimes you just have to say it as it is.
Again,
don't do this. If you do this, you may not be able to come out of it. Not do it, it's okay, but do it small. They're two different things.
But all these things because of where you're coming from. Here that we are right now, they have a lot of support. And if such happen, they have a lot of support. Like, they don't even need you. if you're not supporting them, they can actually push you away and do whatever they like because they have support. The system supports them.
Don't be.
Do you understand?
So be cautious of the
It's for you. It's for you to be cautious.
And at the same time, look out for their best interest.
Exactly.
But most importantly, it sounds more like fear. Don't be afraid.
Do you know that?
No.
Do you know that parents put their teenage children, once they notice that boy relationship, they put their daughters on birth control for all these things not to happen. But here,
that is scary.
What are you talking
but
about?
here, it's happening. It's happening. That is just the truth. But
So
the truth,
accept it though.
yeah. But the truth is that birth
So are you going to
control,
put them on birth
no,
control?
because that is not the solution.
What is
Because it's not just pregnancy.
Got scarier for me. I would like to.
It's not just pregnancy. Pregnancy is good. What about diseases? Do you understand? That's why if you notice that you have to be fully involved, like you have to be on top of it.
It's okay
By
to be
talking.
It's okay to be involved though.
And there are some parents whereby, even those teenage girls, 15, 16, they don't want to see you and the boy alone. That is the rule. You want to have the boyfriend, fine, but we're going to have rules and regulations surrounding
keep to the rules.
surrounding this relationship.
Right, they'll keep to the rules.
You want to see the boy, fine, but you will be in the house.
They will keep the rules.
When the
They will
parents
be
are there.
law-abiding children.
But that is the truth. I don't know.
Do you know that 99% of children are rebellious? Man in his nature is rebellious.